Sup boys, it's your boy Deathboy here, and welcome back to DedChat. I'm in Canada now, finally. Last week I drove for 3 days, technically four, to get to where I am now, and it was a long ass drive. It was like 36 hours. I drove through so much stuff. I saw the craziest things on the way. Like, I went from rolling hills to just desert to fucking Roswell, New Mexico with all the aliens and shit. And man, that place was kind of freaky because I was there and I was getting kind of sleepy at that point. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop for the night and sleep here. So I go to stop there and I try getting a motel room. And they're like, oh yeah, the only room available is like smoking room. So I was like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. So I decided I'm gonna sleep in my car. So I pull up into a parking lot and I start laying down. Next thing I know, I hear what I think are gunshots. No idea. I didn't want to stay there to find out, so I just left the city, and I ended up going to a truck stop, and just crashing there in the parking lot for the night. And I only slept like 3 or 4 hours that night. But the weirdest thing was the next morning, I felt like perfectly fine, as if I had a full night of sleep, even though it was one of the most uncomfortable sleeps I ever had. I have this little like plush whale thing that can transform into a neck pillow, and that guy carried me the entire drive. Every night that was my pillow, and I thank God for it every day. And then after New Mexico, I slept in like 60 miles before Albuquerque. Um I continued driving. I drove through all of New Mexico, and then I drove through like a little bit of Colorado, and then I got to southern Utah, which was like full of canyons, and it was the scariest thing because I never drove my car through canyons, and having driving 60 70 miles an hour down windy ass roads was fucking terrifying for me because all the cars were just like they do that every day, and I'm just here like freaking out thinking my car's gonna go over the side. So after that, I drove through all of Utah, and then I want to say I drove through a little bit of Idaho before I ended up crashing in Idaho that night. So then, after sleeping in Idaho at a random parking lot again, a truck stop, I woke up and started driving. And as I was driving, I swear to God, I thought a tornado was about to form right in front of me. Like, I saw a bunch of dirt and dust like spinning in a spiral, and I was freaking out because it was raining and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get sucked into a tornado. So it just dissipates. Nothing happens. I'm like, holy shit. I just continued driving. Eventually, I I started driving through Oregon, and Oregon was super beautiful. A lot of hills, a lot of mountains. I ended up at this stop, and I got like a free little flyer of like a map of Oregon. So now I just have the map of Oregon. I didn't really pick up any souvenirs from any of the other places. Kind of wish I did, but I wasn't stopping I wasn't stopping all that much. Um, but technically I was, because I never really went under half a tank. I always want to make sure I had more than half a tank, no matter what, in case something happened. So after Oregon, I drove through all of Washington, and oh my God, getting closer and closer to Canada, it was so nice. The mountains and the trees were just fucking beautiful and awesome. And even here in Canada, it's just amazing views all the time. They say here you get used to it, but I don't know if I will for a while at least. And then driving through Washington, the very end of it was kind of sucked. The closer I got to Seattle, because the traffic there was crazy. Because what ended up happening was past Seattle, I had to get through like 3 or 4 more towns before I hit the border. And what happened was, I'd get to a town and it's just traffic for like 20 minutes, and then open highway, and then back to traffic for another 20 minutes in the city. And then eventually I finally got to the border, and it was a bit of a shock to me because I'm not used to like being searched and stuff. So I have like everything searched about me before I entered the border. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. Eventually I get past border patrol, and now I'm in Canada, and I start kind of freaking out a little because I noticed the road signs are like ever so slightly different, and especially because it's in kilometers and not miles. Luckily, my car on the speedometer it has little notches for kilometers, so I was able to read that. But since it was dark and at night and the numbers are small, it was still kind of hard to read. So I'm driving through Canada up to Vancouver, and I can't. It was getting dark. I can't remember what it got, but it was basically sundown at that point. So I started driving through, like, south of Vancouver, getting into Vancouver, and once I got there, um, I ended up falling asleep. So there was a Walmart, but the parking was only 3 hours max. However, there was a parking lot outside, which was next to a liquor store, and I ended up sleeping there that night. So that was cool. Next morning, woke up, went into the Walmart to get a few stuff and eat McDonald's, and then I eventually went to the airport to pick up my cousin. From there, we rode on a ferry, which was super cool because the ferry goes between like two islands, so it was really cool seeing it. We were like on the front of the boat and everything, seeing everything that was going on. So after the ferry ride, we drive off, and I finally get to my girlfriend's house, and there I've been ever since. I've been here for a few days now, finally recording the DedChat, and yeah, so we're officially in the DedChat Canada arc. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. We have big things coming up pretty soon, and yeah, guys, I'll see y'all Wednesday. Thank you all so much for watching. Have an amazing day, amazing night. I'll see you on the next one. Later.